There's now a way to contact the Wolf Connection podcast. Send us an email to podcast@wolfconnection.org with your comments, questions, and guest ideas for Stephen and myself. You may hear your question answered on an upcoming podcast. Thank you for your support, and howls to you all. Welcome to the Wolf Connection podcast. I'm your host, John Calvin. Let's talk about some wolves. Joining me today on Wolf Tales is one of our volunteers and an excellent program lead. I've worked with her several times in the programs, Laurie Cousins. Laurie, tell everyone, I don't even think I even know how you got started here. So tell everyone how you came to Wolf Connection. What was the draw that got you here?
Well, the draw was actually, I was working at a treatment facility. And so we were working with people with different addictions and whatnot. And so my colleague there said, oh my gosh, I found something that has to do with wolf therapy, because we're always trying to find some type of enrichment, bring new things to our clients. And I said, get out, we have to go. What? And so we actually convinced the owner of the facility, and they said, no, you have to do it. You're going to be cutting edge, all that kind of thing, because we both love wolves. And so we came here, and it was like let's be honest, we were here to come, but also to support the clients, but we had no idea what they were going to benefit from it. And, one client in particular was in a lot of resistance. And I just said, you're coming. And I literally pulled them out of bed and said, you're coming, you need to do this. And it was exactly what she needed. And in the sense, like, where she found herself, right? Not so much that like you all had the answers for her or I had the answers, but more what she discovered within herself. And so then, different things happened I left the facilities and went on to do my own thing. But so I found other organizations, and I'm like, you have to come to Wolf Connection. So I just kept bringing people here. And so the time that I came here with this other organization, they, the man that I came with that owned it, he was kind of like, I think it was maybe Wolfie that was licking him or something like that. And he was kind of moving away. And I said, do you even like dogs? Do you like wolves? And he goes, I don't know. And then I said, well, why are we here? And he's like, I think we're here because of you. And I said, you know what? I think you're right. And he said, I want to support you in this. And then Amanda reached out to me, in charge of programming. And she said, I think it was a week later, she goes, would you be interested? Because she knew my background in working with youth. Would you be interested in working here? And I'm like, are you kidding? Yes, absolutely. And then I started volunteering because of course I wanted to work with the youth, but I really wanted to work with the wolves. So I wanted to be able to do both.
So in that time, you were here a few times and then you stuck. So over the course of your 3 years, what is something that you've seen change within yourself since you've been here, either professionally, personally? What are the things that you've seen shift?
I mean, I would say being able to work with a pack, really understanding how we can support one another and be and the need for the bond in the community has been really helpful, because I have a private practice, so I can spend a lot of time alone. But so having that sense of community, and I would also say that what the wolves had shown me, coming back to my nature, coming back to that wild, organic, intuitive place. And when you're not present, they let you know you're not present. And I'm actually a mindfulness teacher, so it's very important to me, but it's that embodied awareness, like really being connected to the earth. And before, I think the reason why I really was convincing the other organization to come here is I need to be with nature. That was where, living in Los Angeles and all that. And so to come out here, being able to feel like I'm coming back home inside of myself, connecting to the earth, and then the wisdom of the wolves. And for them, the different relationships that you build, the different ways that you see them step out of their comfort zone and claim more of who they are or their role. And That's, I feel like, given me permission to, and the pack has supported me in that too, because there was times that I wasn't comfortable doing, I would say, you do it, John, or like, wait, what am I supposed to do again? And not trusting myself in the sense of owning my leadership and owning, and trusting my gut maybe. And you've always been such a wonderful teacher in that way and a support. And I think that's what has been beautiful here as a community, as well as with the wolves.
So in that, we've gone through the trials together, and working the programs has been excellent with you, and you're gearing up for another semester. So you're coming back and jumping into the spring semester. For you, is there a specific wolf that you have learned something from, that you've bonded with specifically? It could be more than one, but is there one that particularly has really given you something that you didn't have before?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to narrow down, right? Because you have different relationships at different stages and times, and that I've been here for 3 years. But I would have to say that Mia is not surprising to you, because our relationship evolved later. Not when she first got here, and it's almost like I didn't discover her until later. And when I finally, I don't even know how it happened. It was just kind of all of a sudden, because I love all the wolves, it's not about that, but all of a sudden she caught me when it was actually, we were bringing her out with a group, and the way that I was able to take her in and just observe her and be curious and not want anything in return, but just really take her in, it just grabbed my heart. And I think that's part of the thing, is that the time it takes to build that trust, to get to know someone, to not take it personally, and really discover, who are you? Because she just was fascinating to me. And the number one thing that the wolves teach us is that place of curiosity, and watching her eyes and the playfulness in her, that, because she's this gorgeous animal, but there's this playfulness in her that you can kind of go, wait, what? And I would say I'm a very playful person, but I don't necessarily allow myself to play enough. And so I think that the joy that she brought in that relationship of getting me back to that place of play has been really cool, because, when we work with youth here, they have that sense of play, or some of them have lost it, right? Because they've been through a lot in their life, and then bringing that sense of play that is true for them. And so I think maybe it's an innocence, and also obviously her story as far as the trauma, that she went through, and her being able to be untouched, like the soul of her spirit. And I can relate to that in my own personal journey, and that the more play I'm in, the more present I am, and the more that I'm not in this story about who I was or where I've come from, but who I am. So yeah, she's been a beautiful teacher, and I just treasure her, truly.
Looking to support Wolf Connection or sponsor one of the wolves in our pack? Just go to wolfconnection.org, click on the donate tab, and find out more information.